What up? Howdy. Hola. All three of those things mean hello, if you didn't already know that. Today, I would like to speak on Jalen Brunson, who has quickly become one of the most impressive and interesting players in the NBA over the course of the last several years. Originally started his career with the Dallas Mavericks as a second-round pick, and now with the New York Knicks, which he joined in the summer of 2022, I believe. He has improved every single season since 2020. In his 2020 to 2021 season with the Dallas Mavericks, averaged 12.6 points per game. The season after that with Dallas, 16.3 points per game. In his first season with the New York Knicks, averaged 24 points per game. And last season, averaged 28.7 points per game. What I want to talk about is, will Jalen Brunson win the MVP award this season? Because I think if he continues to improve, he's improved by, at least like 4 points per game every season for the last several years. If he averages 32 points per game and 6 or 7 assists per game, does that win him the MVP award? Because I think with the Karl Anthony Towns trade now being finalized and Cat being in New York in a Knicks uniform and what have you, Jalen Brunson has a new superstar level talent that he did not have before. He had Julius Randle, but Julius Randle, in my mind, is not the same caliber of player as Karl Anthony Towns, mainly because Karl Anthony Towns rebounds the ball a little bit better and just has a different play style, which I think might work better with Jalen Brunson. So there's a high possibility that Jalen Brunson could improve his production in terms of points being scored as well as assists, because typically when you have more of an offensive threat playing alongside you, you have the ability to attract attention and detract attention from that other player, thus leaving him open to capitalize on open looks. So if this is the situation that occurs and Jalen Brunson is constantly hitting Karl Anthony Towns for open looks and he's making them, the defense has to adjust. So they're going to play more on Karl and they're going to play less on Jalen in a sense, right? So Jalen's going to have the opportunity to basically get more assists, not just to Karl, but to other players on the team as well, because now they have two focal points on offense that they're going to be, thinking about. And Mikal Bridges is a great offensive player in his own right as well as Josh Hart. But I think they lost a little bit of firepower by losing Dante DiVincenzo. But Karl Anthony Towns is clearly going to be a bigger priority for defenses around the league than Dante was. So I personally think if Jalen scores, like I said, like 32 points per game and averages, somewhere between 6 and 8 assists a night, and the Knicks finish second or third, maybe even. I'm putting them above the Sixers. So I would say the only team that's going to be better than them is the Celtics. So if the Knicks finish second overall in the Eastern Conference, with Jalen Brunson averaging those stats that I just mentioned, I don't know if he necessarily should be the MVP. It should probably be Jason Tatum because he's been getting looked over every single year. But Jalen Brunson could win the MVP award because I believe this story has been building for so long that he's this underdog second round pick, which he is. He's definitely a great story. But when it comes to the MVP award, people focus on stories a lot, which I personally believe is a lot of reason why Nikola Jokic won his third MVP. Obviously, he's a great player. He's probably the best player in the NBA right now. But is he really warranting 3 MVP awards? That's a question, right? You know, and you could say this to many players who have won the MVP award before. I mean, there's the constant conversation that, you know, Kobe Bryant should have won the MVP award the year that Steve Nash won it, right? Pretty sure Steve Nash only averaged like 15 points a game or something like that when he won the MVP award, and Kobe was averaging over 30. So it's just, it's really dependent on the voters and what they think and the storylines in the league, because at the end of the day, the storylines are what makes these awards, and the awards are to make a story, right? So I think it's a high likelihood that if Jalen Brunson really ups his production again, he's going to finish at least top 3 in MVP voting. Getting all gibberish over here, getting all excited about the NBA season. So let me know what you guys think. You know, I follow the Knicks because I grew up in Connecticut. You know, a lot of my friends are Knicks fans, and they love Jalen Brunson. I think Jalen Brunson is probably the best thing to happen to the New York Knicks since Patrick Ewing. Carmelo Anthony was great for the Knicks, but he did not do what Jalen Brunson has done for this team so far. And Jalen Brunson's likely going to be a Knick for a long time, right? So he's likely to eclipse, you know, the career length that Carmelo Anthony had as a New York Knick. So I think it's going to be interesting. I think he has a great chance to win MVP this season, and I really hope they stay healthy throughout the season, because seeing a Knicks versus Celtics Eastern Conference matchup, that would just be a delight. That would just be a treat to see. So if you're a big NBA fan like me, I'm sure that's, you know, something you're hoping for too. Unless you're like a Magic fan or a Sixers fan, then you're probably like, nah, f*** you, Wall Street. We don't care about any of that. We want Joel Embiid and Paul George to play against the Celtics and beat them down. Whatever. You get my point. Knicks versus Celtics Eastern Conference Finals would be crazy, but it would also be great to see Jalen Brunson win an MVP award. So let me know what you guys think. Do you think Jalen Brunson is going to win the MVP this season? Or do you think that's not in the cards for him? As always, if you like the video, please give me a thumbs up. Supports the channel, allows me to keep coming back with bigger and better videos for you guys. And if you didn't like it, give me a thumbs down. Tell me how you really feel. I'll catch you guys with the next one. Stay safe. Peace.